Jill's shocking arrival in Nice, the day Kane's secrets fell apart. The golden sunlight of the French Riviera bathed the old-world architecture of Nice in a glow that promised romance, but Jill Abbott felt only the sharp edge of purpose as she stepped off the plane. Every click of her heels on the marble floor of the airport was a silent declaration. Tonight, the truth would no longer hide in the shadows. For weeks, whispers of Kane Ashby's dealings had reached her like faint signals through static. Jill was used to business rivalries and bitter family feuds, but this was different. The clues pointed to a string of covert schemes, financial manipulations, backroom betrayals, that threatened the reputation of Chancellor Winters in her family's name. Kane, with his practiced charm and quiet smile, had fooled nearly everyone. Nearly. Jill's investigators had followed a trail from Genoa City to the glittering coastline of Nice, where Kane had been living in an elegant rented villa, ostensibly taking time for himself. To Jill, the timing reeked of a man hiding from the storm he'd created. The calm before the confrontation. That evening, the azure waters sparkled under a crescent moon as Jill approached the private terrace of the villa. Music drifted from inside, a lively jazz piece that sounded almost too carefree. Through the open doors she saw Kane entertaining a small circle of business contacts, glasses of champagne catching the candlelight. His easy laughter made it hard to believe he had spent months siphoning funds and sabotaging rivals. Jill inhaled deeply. She had rehearsed this moment. The reveal, the evidence, the unmasking of a man who had once convinced her he could be a dependable partner in both business and family matters. But no rehearsal could quite capture the adrenaline now coursing through her veins. She stepped forward, heels tapping sharply against the stone. Conversations faltered, heads turned, and then Kane saw her. "Jill," he said, surprise flickering across his face. What a wonderful surprise." Surprise. Her voice carried the weight of authority, slicing through the Riviera night. "I imagine it is, Kane. Though not the kind you enjoy. The evidence unfolds." Jill didn't waste time with pleasantries. From her leather bag she pulled a neat folder and laid it on the table with a soft thud that seemed louder than the distant surf. "These," she said, "are the wire transfers. Shell companies, offshore accounts, all tied back to you. Do you deny it?" The guests exchanged uneasy glances. Kane's usual composure wavered. "You don't understand," he began, a trace of desperation creeping in. "It's not what it looks like." "Oh, it's exactly what it looks like," Jill shot back. "You manipulated Chancellor Winters' contracts, siphoned millions, and tried to frame a competitor. Did you think no one would follow the trail?" Kane's jaw tightened, his accent sharpening as he searched for an escape. "I did what I had to do for the family, for you. It was all business strategy." "Strategy?" Jill's eyes flashed. "You call fraud and betrayal strategy? You've put every name we care about on the line." A crowd transfixed. The terrace had fallen into complete silence. The Riviera breeze carried the scent of sea salt, but no one moved. The guests, now accidental witnesses to a family reckoning, seemed rooted to the spot. Jill pressed on, her voice steadier than her racing pulse. "You have a choice, Kane. Come back to Genoa City, confess, and help repair the damage, or I release these documents to the authorities right here in France. There will be no escape." Kane's eyes darted to the papers, then back to Jill. For the first time, a flicker of defeat crossed his face. The man who once charmed boardrooms and family dinners alike looked suddenly small beneath the glittering lights. The emotional undertow. But Jill wasn't immune to emotion. Beneath her steely exterior, memories surfaced, holidays shared, moments when Kane had seemed genuinely devoted to the family. She thought of Lily and the children who would inevitably feel the shockwaves of this revelation. Her tone softened slightly. "I wanted to believe in you, Kane. We all did. You could have come to me, told me you were in trouble. Instead, you chose deception." Kane's voice cracked. "I thought I could fix it before anyone found out. I didn't want to disappoint you." "You already did," Jill said quietly, and the words landed heavier than any accusation. A public fall. Within hours, news traveled through Genoa City and beyond. Jill's decisive action reverberated through corporate circles. Chancellor Winters' legal team mobilized, while Kane, escorted by local authorities for questioning, faced the reality of his exposed crimes. The next morning, headlines blazed. Jill Abbott uncovers international fraud, Kane Ashby implicated. Stock prices wavered briefly before rallying as investors expressed confidence in Jill's leadership. Yet for Jill, the victory felt bittersweet. She had protected the company and the family name, but at a painful cost. Watching the sunrise over the French Riviera, she knew the path ahead would be messy: legal battles, family fallout, and the slow work of rebuilding trust. Reflections in the dawn. As the first rays of dawn painted the Mediterranean in soft pinks and golds, Jill stood alone on the villa's terrace. The previous night's confrontation replayed in her mind: Kane's pleading eyes, the shock of the guests, the sharp crack of truth breaking long-standing illusions. In the quiet, she whispered to herself, sometimes love means drawing the hardest line. She wasn't sure if anyone would understand, but she knew she had done what was right. Back in Genoa City, whispers of admiration and fear would follow her. Some would call her ruthless, others would hail her as the savior of the company. Jill knew she was simply a woman who refused to let deceit win. The Riviera breeze lifted her hair as she turned toward the airport. There was no triumph in her step, only resolve. Jill Abbott had come to Nice not for revenge, but for justice, and she had delivered it.